Breaking news, a mission management team for Artemis II has pulled go for the translunar injection burn. That means the mission will proceed as planned. Artemis II will leave Earth's orbit and head toward the moon. It's all scheduled for 7:49 Eastern Time tonight. I want to bring in CBS News Radio correspondent Peter King. Peter, great to be with you. You've been reporting on space for over 3 decades. Yesterday, you got to watch, along with everyone else, the launch of Artemis II. I'm curious, from your perspective and your immense experience covering these types of missions, how does yesterday's launch compare to the many launches that you've covered before?
Yeah, I can answer that in a very simple sentence. They're going to the moon. And that's a huge deal. I mean, you know what? I did more than 60 space shuttle flights. I've done the commercial crew for SpaceX and Boeing. But, these astronauts are actually going somewhere, as Captain Kirk once said, out there,
Absolutely. It's so neat to see your face because I'm so accustomed to hearing your voice for so many of these amazing historic launches. But it's important to note today was a critical point in their mission where Artemis will hopefully slingshot around the moon. At least they're a go for now. Why is this moment important and what factors have to sort of line up to make it successful?
Well, the things that had to line up to make it successful have occurred in the last 24 hours or so, and that is basically there have been no major problems with the Orion spacecraft. Remember, it is flying for the very first time, and so there are a lot of things that are being used in space for the very first time. They've had a couple of glitches, some communications problems here and there. The toilet had a problem, but that's pretty much been fixed. They had a cabin temperature problem where they were a bit cold, but they seem to be okay with the way it works. And as one project manager told me a few days ago, look, if the toilet breaks, that's not going to keep us from going to the moon. Fortunately, it all works, and that's what had to line up. As far as this being a big moment, TLI, first time that ever happened was December 1968 with Apollo 8, and it was Michael Collins, who later flew on Apollo 11, who gave the go for TLI to the Apollo 8 crew, Frank Borman, Jim Lovell, Bill Anders. This is the first time translunar injection has been okayed for a crew since December 1972. It's been that long since Americans or anybody has been to the moon.
Yeah, it was pretty remarkable to watch. I mean, I got goosebumps just watching it. You couldn't help but feel that way because it was so spectacular, even watching it on TV. I'm curious, how do the results, though, and the success of this Artemis II mission impact future NASA missions, I mean, perhaps to Mars?
Oh, it's absolutely vital for anything that comes after this. The plan is to do 2 more Artemis missions in Earth orbit next year that would test the lunar landers. Now, keep in mind that they haven't even been built or flown yet, so they have to be tried out in Earth orbit before they're going to the moon, and that's just a recent development. After that, they're talking about lunar landings in 2028. And a moon base that would be built to establish a permanent presence on the moon. All of that is kind of a precursor to eventually going on to Mars, but you want to try out all the technologies closer to home. Mars is 6 or 7 months away. The moon is only a couple of days away. So that's why this is so important.
Wow. And you're talking about a base on the moon. What does a base on the moon look like? Is it a little city? How many occupants would be there?
Well, it is in the planning stages,
Okay.
and the closest thing I can think of is there is a great Apple TV series right now called For All Mankind, and if you go back to the early seasons of that, there are lunar bases as part of that, and that can give you a little bit of an idea. I mean, habitats, cargo ships that drop off supplies, things like that. I mean, it all has to start from scratch, and they have to figure out ways to get everything there. The good news is all that is in development, but it's going to take some time before that happens. It's not like just putting together a plastic model that you get at the toy store, and it's there on your desk, and here you got a lunar base. It takes a while.
Certainly so. It's so funny when you talk about it, though. It sounds like something out of science fiction, but it's not. This is reality.
Well, this is science fiction becoming science fact, as was the Apollo program, as was Gemini before that, and as was Mercury. This takes it all to a whole new level, and if Artemis's pieces all fall into place, then you've got that science fact.
Peter King, so good to see you. Thanks so much for spending the time with us.